welcome back to the Douk channel. We're going to be doing a sort of quick video, just question and answers, sort of get to know me, get to know Douk, and get to know sort of snowboarding boards and what I sort of think of it, just as a bit of a laugh really, and hopefully it makes you feel a bit more connected to the videos. So yeah, let's get fired away. Beth's going to be answering asking the question. I'm going to be answering the questions. Beth's going to be asking the questions. I've got a cup of tea, so if I break, that's what I'm doing.
What are the origins of Douk?
So Douk started off with a guy, David Ombler, who started the company. He came back after doing seasons abroad. He did Canada, Australia, France and places like that. He'd been doing seasons, but he was also like a qualified carpenter, and he just wanted to combine his two basic like hobbies really and try and make some money out of it and sort of have some fun. He sort of got to work tearing bits apart and just sort of seeing how they're made, and then obviously it's grown to where we are now. He left last year and I took over the company in January, and that's sort of where I am really. I've been an apprentice for 3 years, and that's sort of how I got involved as well. So yeah, origin to beginning, and then obviously the future, we're aiming high. So next question.
Seen lots of different styles and shapes of boards, but what's the reason and what are each of them best for?
Right, so it's probably best if I get some props here, so hang on. So different styles of snowboard. Generally you have the sort of main sort of three things that change on a snowboard is the shape, the flex, and then the profile, which is also known as like the camber of the board, which is sort of like the profile of the board that way. Obviously camber boards are sort of bent that way, flat boards are flat. Rocker, you tend to get like that early rise, which is what this one is, and you get hybrid cambers, which are sort of combinations of both. The biggest factor that changes the board is the profile. Camber boards are predominantly made for sort of carving and more aggressive riding, and what it does is on this board here, which is flat, the main point of contact is this middle area of the snowboard. Obviously when you're riding you'll be flexing on the nose and tail sometimes, but the main point that touches the snow is the middle. And what the camber board will do is spread those out so you have 2 points of contact, and gives you a bit more of an even spread across the board to get the edge properly into the snow. The reason why flat boards and rocker boards are about is because they're a lot sort of easier to ride, and you can sort of get a bit more stability for like doing your butters, going onto rails and landing jumps and stuff. So yeah, there's still uses for all different types of boards. And then obviously the hybrid cambers are sort of where you get the best of both, meaning you can sort of get the stability as well as getting that sort of more superior edge hold of the camber. The next sort of factor of the snowboard is obviously the flex. Now the flex obviously makes it easier to bend if it's softer, and slightly stiffer if it's obviously a stiffer board. And this sort of is similar, the way I sort of compare it is it's like a car. You have different cars that are specific for different things. You have like a Formula 1 race car. They're generally really stiff because when you're going fast and you're going into the corner, you want it all to stay solid as it's going into the corner to sort of get the maximum speed through the corner. And then you have things like off-road cars, which are more sort of made for sort of doing like tricks and things like that. Well, not tricks, but going over like small, short things, which is similar to when you're going onto a rail. You're getting that more flex, so you need that flex to get into those little areas, and to give you that sort of cushion when you land as well. And then you have like the sort of everyday cars, like a like a VW Golf or something like that, where the suspension's not super stiff, but it's also not too soft, and that allows you to sort of do everything. As sort of, it's not going to be as good at going fast, it's not going to be as good at doing those sort of trick things, but it will do both if you want it to. And that's sort of where you get those mid sort of flex boards. And then the next factor you get is the shape. Now obviously there's different widths, different lengths, and that's sort of dependent on what sort of, how high you are, how tall you are, how heavy you are. But also a longer board has more of an edge, meaning you can get on the ice a bit more, and it also has more surface area for floating in powder. There's also the side cut radius, which is part of the shape as well, and that is the radius of the circle that would be made if you kept this sort of edge going all the way around. Obviously the bigger the side cut radius, the more mellow this is, which means you can get those big long scooping carves. And if you have the shorter, it's better for doing like your short turns on the piste or sort of coming up to a jump on the park. So yeah, that's why there's differences in those. And then the next thing you can change is you do get like fishtail boards or swallowtail boards. They're often known as different ways, and these are generally powder specific. You have a stance which is set back, meaning you can sort of lean back easier on the snow to lift the nose out of the deep powder. And then you have this cut in the tail, which is designed to reduce the surface area in the back end of the board, which allows it to sink. And if you imagine looking at a boat going really fast on the water, they're always a bit more like that, sort of cut out of the water. And that's sort of why these are designed to sort of float more back to save you leaning all your weight on the back leg, which can sort of wear your leg out a bit more. So yeah, I think that pretty much answers that one. I don't know if you want a bit more in depth, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Next question.
What has been your favourite board to build?
I mean, to be fair, they're all pretty good to build. It's fun building every board. It's always good doing like one-off unique stuff, where it's like a custom shape. Someone who could never buy a board before, that was quite satisfying to build a board for him, because he had big boots and couldn't find a board that was sort of suitable to fit his riding and making him comfortable on the mountain. So it's, yeah, that was quite satisfying to know that we've built something that he probably wouldn't have been able to enjoy snowboarding as much as we have, unless we've built him a nice sort of custom board that was really wide and yeah, bit of a beast.
What are Douk's plans this season?
I mean, we're at the start of the season. It's Christmas. We're building boards for people, making sure they're under the tree ready for everyone. Plans this season, I plan to get as much riding in as I can with COVID and stuff, but hopefully we should get a couple of weeks out. If not, we'll be hitting the snow domes. Trying to do maybe do another demo tour like we did last year, but obviously it's really unpredictable at the moment. But yeah, we're just going to try and make some more videos, get out on the mountains, try and do some more videos on the mountains as well. And then worst comes to worst, I'll be out probably doing some summer snowboarding in L2A or something like that on the glacier.
Why have you changed to using resin sidewalls, and what's the benefits?
So the resin sidewalls, grab one of these. So if you don't know about our new sort of technology, this is what we do. It's like a continuous poured in sidewall. It looks quite cool. We can obviously mix and match colours and put glitter, and you might have seen the glow in the dark one we did as well, which was quite awesome. So yeah, this is the new way, and the reason we do this compared to the old way, which is shown here on our old core, is it's mainly, it just makes it easier. Also, with this being a plastic and this being an epoxy resin, this bonds a lot better to the rest of the materials in the snowboard, whereas this plastic can be sometimes a bit of a nightmare. We always have to flame treat it and sand it and make sure it's all ready for preparation. Another bonus out of this that we can do is we're able to do sort of more unique shapes with just an extra template. It's quite easy to sort of add these sort of new nose and tail shapes. I mean, we can offer more custom options at a better price as well. And I think it just looks way cooler. It's a lot more efficient. We're not wasting as much plastic. There's big minimum orders for the sidewall stuff, whereas this we can buy it in small amounts just for one snowboard if we needed, but so we're making more than one at a time, so it's, yeah, it makes it a lot more efficient, both in time and in sort of wastage and things like that. Next question.
What is your favourite place to go snowboarding?
My favourite place to go snowboarding? Well, I mean, I've not really been many places. I'd love to go to America and places like that, but for me, I go to probably Slovakia is a go-to place. I mean, I did a season there when I was, well, probably about 2 years ago now. So I know the place quite well. I know all like the powder spots. There's a lot of like dedicated off-piste stuff. It's not super busy and you don't get ripped off on the mountain. So it's like €1 for a pint of beer when you finish the day. Obviously you don't drink when snowboarding, that's inappropriate. But at the end of the day, you can have a beer for €1. You just feel like you're on holiday and you can relax a bit more. It's fun. There's always good snow there. Yeah, never had a bad time. Next question.
Where are you based?
We're based in the Cotswolds, or just on the edge of it, in Worcestershire. Next question.
Who's your favourite rider?
I've got a couple. My favourite sort of like video stuff, I really love Zeb Powell. I think his stuff at the X Games. Was it the X Games? Make sure it's the X Games. We'll have to fact check that. I think it's the X Games that he did like the knuckle huck stuff. And there was just, yeah, some cool stuff he did. His style is just so cool. It just looks a lot more flowy. My favourite video is probably Shredbots East, somewhere here.
How many boards do you make a year?
It's between 200 and 300. The factory itself has got a much higher capacity. We decided we'd rather have a bigger factory and use it less. Meaning we have room for like our build your own courses, things like that, which makes it a bit more enjoyable instead of being in someone's cramped garage. But yeah, the actual factory could probably make about 4,000 a year. We'd have to have a couple more employees. We'd have to have obviously the demand to make that money a year. But yeah, it's yeah, about 200 to 300 at the moment. That's skis, snowboards and wakeboards all combined.
What's the smallest board you can make?
The smallest snowboard that we make that is like obviously customizable and things like that is we do right down to 80 centimeters, which is obviously like skateboard size. It's quite rare that we make them this size. Obviously at that size it's for like a 3-year-old child. Quite rare that people get their kids snowboarding that young, but obviously there is kids out there and there's some proper shredders that are obviously tiny and they just do some cool tricks and then they just roll on the ground. We do from 80 centimeters right up to 178, I think the biggest snowboard we made is. So it's, yeah, quite a big range, and obviously there's a lot in between.
When did you first try snowboarding and how did you get into it?
I used to ski when I was a lot younger, from about 4 or 5 years old. Did skiing. My parents went out snowboarding. My dad snowboarded, my mum skied, and then I obviously skied until I was about 12, 13, and then there was a school trip where you had to have lessons the whole week. So I thought, I already know how to ski, let's give snowboarding a go. My dad does it, always looks fun, and I did it and just never looked back really. It's something, I think for me it's more what I enjoy. You can just be a bit more free with doing tricks and things like that. For me, I prefer just chilling out, doing little side hits, hitting the park, and for me that felt more natural on a snowboard than it did on skis, so it sort of blossomed from there. What
is the best board you would recommend for a beginner?
The best board I would recommend for a beginner is actually this one here. So yeah, it's our Minister board, designed by Linear Thoughts, I'll put up here somewhere. Follow him, he does some cool artwork. So yeah, the reason I'd recommend this is because it's nice and soft and forgiving, meaning that you can sort of get away with slipping up a little bit when you're learning. It's got a rocker profile, which means it's flat here and then it slowly rises up there. But yeah, the reason why I recommend that as well is because it lifts your contact points up from the snow a bit, which means when you're snowboarding down, you're going a bit wishy-washy, out of shape, you won't sort of dig in an edge and end up on the floor face planting. It's actually my favourite board as well.
Do I have my own design for a custom board, or can you do this for me?
In terms of custom boards, not everyone has the kind of software, or not everyone can put designs together sort of thing, but they'll have like this crazy idea that comes to them when they're sleeping or in the shower, and it'll be like, I need this board. So yeah, we're happy to help you out with that. Yeah, just send us over any ideas, any photos of other boards. We do charge 25 quid just for the extra time it costs us, but again, it's something we enjoy doing and we'll put plenty of time into it. Alternatively, another good idea, go ask your tattoo artist, I'm sure they'll help you out. We've had people that have had designs by other people in the past, so it's, yeah, we can point you in the right direction.
Can you do a setup for the season video?
You want me to do my setup? Yeah, I can make a video doing that.
Have you made a snowboard for anyone famous?
Oh, okay. We've done a few boards for sort of like celebrity kind of people. We've done one for JME, it was a cool board. It was a few years ago now. We did a board for Stormzy, which was a collaboration with Snow Bombing, which is like a winter festival. Unfortunately, he didn't actually go to the festival. I think there was some kind of issue there, but yeah, it was supposed to be a gift from the festival to Stormzy. So yeah, that was quite cool. And then we've also made boards for Superdry, Crack and Rum. Yeah, so for your more sort of like famous company sort of thing, that's quite cool to work with, and it's cool obviously to have a nice snowboard. I mean, I'm sure the Kraken board will get a lot of views on the slope.
What does Douk stand for and how do you say it?
So it's Douk. A lot of people say Do UK, understandable, but it's Douk. Yeah, the reason it's Douk is it's David Ombler UK. David Ombler's the guy who set it all up, and obviously UK is where we're from. Represent. Next question.
What wood is used to make snowboards and wakeboards?
So the wood we use, for the majority of all the snowboards is poplar. Is poplar. It's a fast-growing hardwood, which means it has sort of like the properties of a hardwood, of it being sort of like quite strong, but it's also, because it's fast growing, it makes it quite sort of flexible. You probably can't see there, this is quite a big piece, but yeah, it makes it quite flexible and allows it to sort of be quite light as well. It's not a heavy wood at all. But we also have ash stringers, which is like a more heavy and dense hardwood. We use that for like our Douk, which is the sort of all mountain hard piece riding board, and also like the Pilgrim as well, which is a more stiffer board. So that's all the questions that we got, but we're gonna do a quick fire round where they're just gonna fire random questions at me. Might not even be snowboard related.
Park or slope?
Park, unless the slope's good.
Helmet, no helmet.
I always wear a helmet. Stupid not to wear a helmet, really.
Goggles, no goggles.
I wear goggles because otherwise I cry.
What food do you eat on the mountain?
Garlic soup.
What do you drink on the mountain?
I like a sort of Coke, something like that.
What do you think of step-on bindings?
I wouldn't ride them just yet.
What's your favourite joke?
I went to the zoo the other day. There was only one animal in there. It was a shih tzu.
That's a bad joke.
Why are you taking the piss?
What's your favourite trick?
Favourite trick? I love doing methods.
Split board or skis?
Split board.
Wakeboard or water ski?
Wakeboard. More like snowboarding.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Hot dog or burger?
I like burgers. Hot dogs are a bit boring.
Simple graphics or complicated graphics?
I like simple.
What music do you listen to while snowboarding?
I really like hip hop stuff, but again, a bit of house stuff's always good as well. So yeah, a bit of everything really. Yeah, so that's it. Quick note, we've got some hoodies coming. I haven't actually got them yet because they're that fresh. They're going to be coming. You can pre-order a hoodie. They're going to be a cool like forest green colour with just a simple white logo in the middle, but they're going to be super high quality. We've also got a load of sticker packs that we've put somewhere, and we also have all of these X-Demo boards which can be sort of sent out for sort of a good price. We'll probably do some extra deals. Maybe we'll put a discount code, 10% off X-Demo boards if you've watched this far and you've not got a board with me. Let us know what you want to see next. And my question for you guys to answer in the comments is, who's your favourite rider? Put it down there and let us know.
Peace.